This is my second time recording this freaking video. So welcome back to my channel. Obviously you can see that this is part one of a breast reduction series I'm doing. And yeah, so I really wanted to get more in depth about like my process going through like insurance and getting it approved through my insurance and all of that good stuff. So yeah, if you want to know what the breast reduction process is like through insurance, stay tuned. I'm gonna have more videos. I'm definitely thinking about having a like a pre-op and just a couple more videos to follow about the breast reduction series. So anywho, let's start with the why I wanted to get a breast reduction. So I've had bigger breasts since like high school, but like obviously they weren't out of control. My mom actually encouraged me to have a breast reduction done while I was still covered under my dad's insurance because he was in the military, and I guess that insurance may be better. I don't know. I never looked into it because I knew like it was too early for me to do it, and I knew like I wanted kids and I didn't want that to affect and having to maybe do it again anyway after having kids, like they could grow. So when I was pregnant with my youngest, when I was pregnant with my daughter Aria, I knew I wanted more kids, and my boobs just grew huge when I'm pregnant. Like they're so big. And so I was like, yeah, definitely gonna get, see about a breast reduction, but obviously I knew I was gonna have more kids, so I never did it. Like I never initiated the process. However, when I had my second child, I was like, okay, I can't have big boobs like this. They're so uncomfortable, they're heavy, they don't fit, and it's really a hassle. On top of being pregnant, having big boobs with that is just a hassle. Like I hated it, I didn't enjoy it. So literally as soon as I had my daughter, well, once I had my baby, which was last year, September of 2022. So with that, I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna see about when I want to get a breast reduction, because if we do have another child, like at that point, I knew it wasn't going to be back to back like I did with my first two. I knew I'd maybe want to wait like 3 or 4 years if we decided to have another kid. So I'm like, we can do this, and one more kid I guess would not hurt. But I didn't want to get obviously a breast reduction and have 3 kids after that or 2 kids after that. So anyway, when I knew I was serious about it, for whatever reason, girl, I went to TikTok. I'm like, that's where the experts live. They're gonna tell me what to do. And initially I was not even thinking about getting it covered through insurance. I was thinking about having it done through just plastic surgery, like having it cosmetically done, and I'd have to pay out of pocket or set up payment arrangements or whatever that looked like. So I went to TikTok and came across one video of this woman who got her breast reduction covered through insurance, and she was looking at and I didn't even really think about it. Like I don't know why it was not a thought in my head. Like I don't know. So she like looked up the requirements in her specific insurance. So I was like, okay, cool. And she also talked about like, if you have these pains, if you have a medical history, make sure you tell everybody this. So I quickly looked up my requirements, and I'll definitely put my specific insurance carrier's requirements for a breast reduction here. It may be different for yours, whatever, but I think for having a breast reduction, like it's pretty standard across the board what they need as far as like complications that you have. If they're covering it, they're pretty much, I'm pretty sure all going to be the same across the board. But anyways, these were my requirements per my insurance company. So once I looked at that, I was like, okay, well, they pretty much are saying like you have to have like shoulder grooving, back pain, scarring, like things like that. So in her video, she like discussed that a lot of people's video actually, they discuss like they're going to look at this. Like if you are having it done through insurance, they're going to send, your plastic surgeon is going to send a pre-authorization, and you know, you have to basically meet all the criteria. So anywho, once I had all that information, what I needed to say, what I needed to have, what I would need to show, I researched a plastic surgeon in my area who was also covered, I guess, well, in network. So I looked up a plastic surgeon who was in network. So I let them know like, hey, I just had a baby in September. I think it's October at this point, like 6 weeks post me having the baby. I'm like, hey, I did have a baby this year. And they were like, oh, well, no, I don't think I came out right and told them that. I think they ask you. So once I told them that I did have a baby a month prior, they're like, okay, well, we have to wait 6 months because it is your breast, and due to lactation and all that good stuff, we have to wait 6 months to see you have a consult. So that was in October. So I had to wait 6 months. However, I didn't stress it. I wasn't upset because this would give me time to see like everybody I would need to see like. So after I made the appointment with my plastic surgeon, I had immediately called, well, I actually didn't even have a PCP, girl. I think I was 27 at the time, and I didn't have a PCP. So I was like, let me establish one of those. And so I called, I found a PCP, a primary care physician, and I made an appointment, and I made sure, I was like, hey, yeah, I just kind of never had an appointment with a primary care physician. I've had 2 babies. I've only had like, you know, OB appointments for that, and you know, your occasional pap smear chow. So at this point, I was like, yeah, I just kind of want to, you know, have a annual or whatever they call that, where you just make sure you're straight. And they're like, okay, any complaints? I'm like, yeah, well, I've, you know, always had back pain, but girl, it's really bad currently. So, you know, I made that appointment, and I think that was like January, February, a couple weeks before I had my appointment with the plastic surgeon. So coincidentally, like a couple weeks before my appointment with my PCP, I had excruciating back pain. Like it's never been that bad before. And I was like, okay, well, this is coming in good time. I was like, this is actually coming in great time because now I can go to the urgent care and I can be like, hey, I'm having really bad back pain. And yeah, so that was like 2 different proofs of in my medical records that I've been getting seen for back pain. And I made sure when I went to like see the PCP, the urgent care, I made sure they knew like I've always had back pain, but recently it's just gotten a lot worse. Yeah, when I went to my urgent care appointment, well, it wasn't an appointment, I think I just walked in, but I went to urgent care and let them know that I was having back pain. I'm like, oh wow, I've always had back pain since I was like a teenager, but you know, I think it's my chest. It's just gotten bigger since having kids, like even bigger since having kids, and it's just constant at this point. So when I was seeing them, they actually they prescribed me medication. And I remember one of the requirements saying like you had to be on medication, you know, like pain management is a requirement for most insurance companies, I'm assuming. Pain management is like one of the requirements that they want, you know, like to see before they're like, yeah, let's cut off your breast, your cheese chow. And so, yeah, so I made sure I let them know that. They prescribed me medication. Then they were like, well, do you want to try injections? And I was like, hell no, I don't. But so yeah, and then they also referred me to a chiropractor, and that's one of also a requirement. Like they want you to have pain management by maybe a chiropractor, injections, physical therapy, like those things. Your insurance might be different with how long they want you to have these constant they might differ in how long they want you to have these treatments, but you know, obviously you'll see that whenever you look it up. So I went to my, I picked up my prescriptions. I actually took those. They actually didn't help me at all. I think I threw them away because they were no help to me. And so shortly after that, I had my PCP appointment. I let them know, you know, that's established in my medical records too. So boom. So next was the appointment with the plastic surgeon. So my first appointment again was like end of February. Yeah, end of February. And there you obviously meet your plastic surgeon, but before that you see like a nurse, and they're going to take measurements of your breast. So, well, measurements in general. So they're gonna get your height, your weight. I can't remember all of the measurements that they did, I think, but the ones I can really remember is the nipple from like your clavicle, and then the diameter of your nipple. And like, they just, you know, they do an exam of your breast, they take pictures, they try to get pictures, like if you're saying, hey, yeah, I'm gonna try to get them through insurance, they're gonna take pictures of like grooving, any scarring under your boobs, and all of those things to help your chances get it approved by insurance. So that's what my doctor did. And then they're going to talk about like, hey, because you're trying to get this covered through insurance, most insurance carriers go by this thing called the Schnur scale. And basically what that is a template saying, hey, if your body mass or index is this number, then they have to take out this number of grams from, or this number of breast tissue in grams from you. You know what I'm trying to say. So if you are 5'8" and you weigh 170 pounds, it's going to calculate a number in grams of breast tissue that they are required to take out if your insurance company implements that. After they go through all of that, they'll basically just give you the rundown of what's going to happen next. So they take all of the pictures, the information that you gave them, and they're going to send a pre-authorization for the breast reduction to your insurance company. How long that's going to take, I guess, differs case to case. Mine actually took a lot longer because the first doctor I saw ended up not staying with the company or whatever, and my pre-auth was never sent. And I kept checking on it. Like I believe I let it go on for like 4 to 6 weeks because that's how long, like, the patient coordinator told me it may take to hear back from the insurance company. So I'd call back like every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, hey, I'm checking on the pre-authorization XYZ, and my insurance company was like, we haven't received any pre-authorization from your insurance carrier. So I took it upon myself to like keep calling, make sure you keep calling, make sure you know what's going on, because sometimes things do get lost in the shuffle. Had I not been so vigilant, who knows how long it would have taken. Like, I would have just been sitting there not knowing anything. So yeah, so I ended up having to have another appointment with a different doctor in like April, and then I believe my breast reduction was approved like early May or June, so maybe like 8 weeks. So my process took a little bit longer just because there were some hiccups down the way, but I would say be prepared to wait maybe 2 to 3 months depending on your insurance carrier, but definitely call back with them, I would say like every week or every other week, to see the process on it. And if they haven't received the pre-authorization from your plastic surgeon, make sure you call your plastic surgeon like, hey, I called my insurance company, what's the ETA on it being sent, just so you can stay on top of things. Like, as a patient, you are in control of your care, and you really have to be on top of everyone. Do not let things fall between the cracks, because you are the only one that's going to put yourself first. So stay on top of things, always. There's a lot going on in doctors' offices, like, just make sure. you stay on your P's and Q's. So anyway, once mine got approved, I spoke to my, I don't know if it was like a patient coordinator or someone who, I think it was the lady who handles insurance. So she was like, okay, well, this is going to be your copay, and this depends on your insurance, obviously. So I have to pay my copay in full before my surgery date. They're going to ask for any documentation that they might need. From me, they did ask for me to have like lab orders done. They gave me a lab order, and then I have to go get lab work, like just, you know, blood checked and things like that. And then also I had a complication with my first C-section, so they want the medical records on that just to, you know, make sure they are up to date with my body and how maybe things can go due to the fact that I had a complication with the surgery. And then the most exciting part is you will choose your surgery date. So I chose mine, and then based off of your surgery date, I think, you know, a couple weeks in advance, they want to obviously have the pre-op, and I don't know what's involved in that yet because I haven't had it. It's actually next week. And yeah, so that is pretty much the gist of getting your breast reduction approved through insurance, if you know your insurance offers that. I would just say, make sure if you're speaking, well, obviously look into your insurance first, see what they require, and then have those like appointments with your different doctors and everything like that. And just make sure you are like drilling it into their heads that you are just in pain, like you are in pain. I also heard like someone's plastic surgeon told them to like wear smaller bras, so the engrooving in their shoulders is a lot worse. I didn't do that. My doctors obviously didn't tell me, my doctors didn't tell me that, but make sure you're doing everything like it's in your record. Like, yeah, the pain's a 10 out of 10. I can't do it. Send me to the hospital. It hurts so bad. So yeah, I hope that this video is informative. Like I said, there's more to come. If you have any questions, let me know. I do plan on making this a series, and yes, girl, this video would have been out a lot sooner. However, I had to re-record it, but I think I'm a lot happier with this version than my first version. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That concludes today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Girl, I say too. Okay, bye guys. Is this upside down? Who knows?